I forgot to turn on my model. Hang on. Okay. Soupy, hello, welcome to the stream. It is demon time for Wallace. Wallace? I need to stop waking up right before the stream. I remember that I don't like doing that. Wow, there's a big turnout for this one, considering how early in the stream it is. And the fact that I didn't think this one would do well. I sent in game chat, okay. I was thinking the way I could do this was with a, like, a big image on GIMP, just because that's the art program I happen to use. Actually, I kind of don't want to change that. Window capture. One minute ad break. Ah. There we go. Let's just make it bigger. Okay, just a little bit bigger. There we go. Now I have a nice blank canvas to work off of. And right now I really wish that I hadn't disconnected my third monitor. Actually, I might go put that back over here. I think I will, actually. I think that'd be useful here. Hang on, I will be right back to do that. Technically, it's not actually a monitor, it's actually a TV. That's remake room. Wahoo, yes. Wahoo. I should have never unconnected this monitor. Well, no, I need space. Because for those who don't know, I'm out of here. Not YouTube or anything like that. This one will work. What I'm out of is where I currently live. So I'm packing. There we go. Does this count as scuff? I guess it does. Let me grab my phone for the flashlight. Okay. That actually didn't help like at all. Okay, I think I found it. Okay. Oh dear, my phone's doing a thing it sometimes does where it likes to be evil. Okay, so what? Okay, so that's about the range I have. Okay. The question is, what mecha anime to talk about first? Ognamod, hello, welcome to the stream. How's that for when I want to draw? That'll work. By the way, any drawing will be done with my mouse, so it's not going to be good. It'll just be like a basic sketch to get the idea across. Let me blow my nose real quick. Well, we could talk about the that does not look right. Oh, it's not right. I have to fix that again? Oh, joy. Well, I'm not going to do it right now. Well, this is on Demon Time. Ah, okay. Well, we can talk about the mechanical design from XXXX. Yes, Gundam XXXX. Which I have to get the images from online because I don't have the liner for those saved yet. There she is. Let's get it smaller to where it can all be seen on screen. Well, let's get it, no, because that can only be seen on my screen, not on your guys' screen. While we're talking about it, let's put in a bigger one to focus on details. Okay, so what is there to talk about this? Well, this is on Demon Time. I don't know what that means, Soupy. Anyway, so there's this mechanical design. It's very different from like anything else we've seen from Gundam so far, which would probably be because it's designed by Ikuto Yamashita, who is most known for the mecha designs from Evangelion. In a lot of the XXXX designs, mostly this in the Zaku, he seems to like having these like this sort of like bulging shape around the thigh. The Zaku has the same thing too. Oh, well, you guys can't even see it. Oh, there we go. I have to. Okay, now you can see it. Grimmy the Crow, hello, welcome to the stream. We're talking about XXXX currently, but feel free to ask any questions about things or like my opinions on things or anything like that. We're talking about Gundam. Yes, Gundam is usually a pretty good place to start with mecha anime. I do considering I did consider starting by talking about the Valkyries from Macross, because those have been a little bit more in my head recently. But I decided to talk about G-Quacks instead, for starters. So one thing I'm not a big fan of with the design is the way that it almost looks like a twist there. But what I did hear is that apparently they're taking away the humanity of the mobile suits. Like a good way to see this would be the Zaku. Let me get a picture of it on screen. Oh, somebody has already conveniently made a comparison image, which is not available in high res, so I won't use it. This is truly Anno's vision. So Anno is only like co-directing though, which is important to remember. But apparently, he basically rewrote the 1 Year War from scratch, like the whole 1 Year War section. Okay, so there's the G-Quack Zaku. Let me get a picture of a normal Zaku. Come on. Let's scale that to a similar size. So there's a lot of differences which I think are just stylistic and don't really have any meaning behind them exactly. So an example of that would be the lack of a distinct knee plate, and it instead being like shaped like one plate from the shin, or the smaller feet. Like I really just think those are just like, it's like a mix of the F2 and the Zaku from the Netflix show. I honestly don't really see very much Requiem for Vengeance Zaku in it at all. But there is definitely a lot of F2, especially in the arms. But a lot of the Zaku's character is actually gone. So even the green color, which it's definitely part of the character. Instead, we've got this like, it's a proportions between. Ah, I see. Small head, yeah. So actually, the head's small. That's a good thing to bring up. The cables are larger. We've got these big propellant pods here. The spike shoulders are gone. This shoulder shield is smaller. It feels less like a gladiator and more like a tank. And that's apparently like the whole mechanical design, what's the word? Like that's the whole point, basically. Is making them feel more like they're just machines instead of being heroes. And I think the Zaku is a really good place where that is shown. I mean, the Zaku design is growing on me. It's more like a police mobile suit. I'm thinking of those red pieces of sirens. Well, yeah, but they did use them in the 1 Year War. There is a picture of a green one. Let me see if I can find it. I need to find the line art in general. Where is it? There we go. Oh, this one's actually line art. So this one is green, but it still feels much less. A lot of its character is gone. And I think one of the ways they're trying to make it feel more grounded and realistic are these bars like almost everywhere. which because they're also on the white Gundam and the red Gundam, and I really can't say I'm a fan. I really don't like those, especially on Mizaku's head. Like, if they're on the cockpit, that makes sense, but in the places they are, it doesn't make sense to me. But this one is not a police mobile suit. I just used that one because it's a bigger image, and it's basically the same design. You can also, in general, see some of Yamashita's design aspects that he tends to like anyway. What's interesting is if I don't know, search, I don't have it saved. Yamashita. I forgot the space. What's interesting is that Ikuto Yamashita actually did designs for the new Gundam in Sazabi, which I expect are going to be shared a lot more in the coming time. But I've known about them and liked them since like 2018, which makes me better than all of you guys. And then his new, I actually can't find a proper line art like this. Maybe it's just not shown as often, or I think the blue sock was at least some sort of enforcement suit. Oh no, I definitely agree with you. I'm pretty sure it's basically military police, but I think all the police is probably military police in post 1 Year War, where Zeon won Zeon Society. Kind of like the Jagan with thigh highs and thigh highs. Yeah, exactly. But I could find at least an image of his new Gundam. It is not a high quality image. But that's the only high quality image I can find. It's kind of hard to see what's going on because of the way that Yamashita chose to, the sort of art style that he chose to use here. But you can really see it has this sort of mechanical design details that we can see on that, like, actual mecha. Not so much like the EVA units, as much as things like the positron rifle from Evangelion. Because I think Yamashita does have a bit of a difference between how he draws the EVAs and how he draws other mechanical stuff, because he knows that from the get-go, right from the designing of, I think, that they're not actually mecha. Although I just noticed it says Ikuto Yamashita on that, like, armor plate there. That's gotta be that. Let me blow my nose again, so I will mute myself real quick. Okay. But yeah, this is... I'm about to sneeze again. Yeah. Okay. I think what most people would right now more associate with, or not associate with Ikuto Yamashita, but would it be familiar with as far as his non-EVO works, would be he designed, I don't remember what it was called, but it's one of the armor, one of the part sets in Armored Core 6. What's everyone getting sickly? Well, with me, a big part of it is that I am allergic to dust, and I've been packing and cleaning my room, but yeah, Ikuto Yamashita designed this thing, which I actually, before I knew it, I was making jokes about it being an EVA unit, because of these arm things. Cool designs, yes. That's the Fire Meza. Yeah, so I did actually end up using the legs a bit, in general, and actually the arms. Actually, the only part I haven't used is the head, because to me the head is really ugly. But in general, it's interesting how this is not, in some ways it is very similar to his other works, and in others it is not. Like, the very skinniness is not. I use the core piece. I haven't actually played that much of Armored Core 6 though. I got past the what was it called? The Sea Spider. And then I decided, you know what? I want to finish playing Gen 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 5. Oh wait, I just realized what I can do if I want right now. Let me plug in my controller again. I can show my Gen 1 Armored Core build as it is right now. Do I have it here? Yes. Let me get it ready. I don't know why I'm struggling to launch a PS1 emulator. I started using an emulator because I wanted to use analog sticks, and then I ended up not using them anyway. Okay, let me... Oh, I actually don't want to change that. Hang on. I guess I could just make another window capture. Or I could change this window capture. No, I want to keep that how it is. I'll just make a new window capture. Oh, that's right on the top. Let's bring that down in my my hierarchy. Why is it? Hang on, that's not what's on my screen right now. Let's close it and see if that helps. Okay. Nope. That is really weird. Why is it? Not sure if you've heard of a show called The Red Baron. I've heard of the person, The Red Baron, but I haven't heard of a show called The Red Baron. Okay, so capture card isn't working. Not capture card. Oh, I could do this. That works. It's the anime remake of Super Robot Red Baron, which is so cool. Back when I missed. Oh, I started talking about that I can show my my Armored Core build, and then I got murdered by it not wanting to show. Not in America, that was basically what instead of G Gundam. Ah, I see. I'll look into it then. Where was it? I forgot how to do anything. I'm not gonna like actually play, but this is my current Armored Core. Honestly, a lot of the time, I tend to, in Gen 1, in most Armored Core games, I tend to kind of go for appearance more than actual stats, but Gen 1 is just so hard, I have to go, like, maybe 40% appearance, 60% stats. Appearance is definitely a driving factor, though, maybe 50-50. But yeah, this is it. Let's go looks. Thank you. It's my white and red with some cyan accents is my personal colors. Another example I could show you of that particular color set with my that's not the right one. There we go. That particular color set with my preferences. Let me find it. How many? Okay, as far as my big folder of a bunch of Gundam line arts right now, apparently I have 1,137 items in there, which aren't also always. They're not all actual Gundam line arts. Some of them are things like this, if it will actually go in there. this is not actually a full Gundam. It is just the beam rifle of mine, but most of them are actually full Gundam line arts. Did I go too far? Yep, I did. What's MS? Where's MG? I'm blind. I can't do anything. What? Where is it? Where is it? I know that it's under MG-SYS. Yeah, it's in there. When I search, I can find it. But those same colors are used for my personal custom mobile suit, which I do plan on redesigning slightly. Yes, it's called Gundam Epigos, which comes from ancient Greek, but I don't remember what word I got it from. It has no shield. Its weapons are GN beam sabers, which are stored in the back skirt armor. It has a GN drive. And then these two things in the back here, if it's not obvious, are thrusters. Although the thruster covers are based on the shoulders of the Eye Gundam or Eyes Gundam. And then it has that beam rifle I showed earlier, and these Vulcans here. And then optionally, it has a it can be equipped with a bazooka as an optional armament, but it won't have any place to put the bazooka. So when it switches to another weapon, it would have to just drop the bazooka and lose the weapon. There's not exactly a hard point for it. You remember this one? Yes, I've shown it off a few times. I made this a long while ago, and I'm still, even though I want to redesign it a bit, I'm still very happy with how it is now. And you can see it's in those colors of white, red, and blue, although I didn't perfectly match all the whites. This is a cool white, this is a warm white, this is a neutral white, that's a neutral white. I don't like that. The reds are pretty much matched, though. I do wish I didn't have any gold here, except maybe the Vulcans. Anyway, what are we talking about? Yes, the Zaku. So, in general, it's like also the hands are a very different shape. We've got many more little thrusters. We can see the joints right there. Honestly, this almost actually looks like a Gundam Battle Operation 2 render with the way it's detailed. Even this gun looks much more modern and realistic than the Zaku's, what was it? I think it was MA-120 is the machine gun. Or it might have been just M120. But yeah, so that's the whole idea of it is taking away that, like, the humanity of it. And we can see this with the G-Quacks, and it keeps Yamashita's preference for design without eyes or designs that can move parts of their face, because it has this, like, let me see if I can find a picture of it. I can't see. Okay. Q 1 2 3 4 5 6 X face closed. Okay, I found an image of the Gunpla, like, closing its face. Ah. Okay, there's a better one. Because if it's from Gundam Planet, I have to get the full res image, I have to actually go to the website, and I want to do that. Yeah, so here's a good image of it, like, of it closing its face. And I am quite, I do like that quite a bit. Overall, in general, I'm actually not too fond of this, like, the horn-like shape of the V-fin. Which, interestingly, in the, original draft, it didn't have. But it is starting to grow on me a bit, and I'm starting to kind of like it. What I really like are the feet. Every time somebody makes a custom of it and gives it normal feet, part of me dies. I love the feet, and then also the way that the legs, the lower legs, the close face looks reminds me of that, especially in Eva or Eva Unit 3. Yes, so it's the same mechanical designer. He designed both of them, so it is definitely similar, and there's a reason for that. And I think this does take inspiration from his work with Eva, particularly the Eva Unit 0. And in general, the proportions of this are somewhat Eva-like. Especially if you look at the more modern Eva units, like, if we look at the proportions, not necessarily of the mecha in universe, although it is actually the mecha in universe as well, but just the proportions of the line art. We look at the Eva Unit 13 from the movie. It's the way the way the mecha is holding its arms feels similar. In general, the proportion, the pose has a similar, almost stiffness to it, which I think perhaps Yamashita might like because it reminds you that it's a robot and not a person. Oh, that reminds me. The fact that they launched a new EVA mass production model kit. What was the brand? There's the Bandai one. But the Bandai one doesn't even have arm articulation, and it's stupidly expensive now. I can't find it. Somewhere I have it. I swear I remember it, but I do have it bookmarked on Twitter. I might look for it very briefly. It's probably okay. So searching it didn't find anything. It's probably the tweet body is written in Japanese. Okay, that would take forever to find. I'm hardly through. I bookmarked it months ago, and that would take me forever to find. I can't find it, but trust me, I remember it's happening. I've seen some of the runners. And I'm so like, was this it? Oh wait, I think I might have found it. Maybe not. Because this one that I'm looking at right now does not seem to have any movement at all. Okay, let me look when it was, if Gundam Planet will say when it was made. This actually might be it. Which would... Oh, no, this is a resin kit from 1997. Oh, wait, no, it's not. I can't find out. Apparently, it's based on 3D scans of a resin kit. Oh well, I hope it's not, because I hope there's a new EVA Unit 0 model kit, or not just new Unit 0, a new EVA mass production type model kit that's not that coming out. Because the high grade is impossible to find, and I really, really like the mass production EVA. Anyway, back to G-Quacks that I keep getting distracted from. What I do like about this one is that unlike the White Gundam or the 1 Year War Zaku, it doesn't have those stupid bars all over it. But where is... Let me get a picture of White Gundam G-Quacks. See, when I search up White Gundam G-Quacks, it just gives me images of the Gundam G-Quacks. If I search up White Gundam, it's just going to give me images of the RX-78 too. I can't win. Okay, here we go. So, what I think is perhaps more interesting for me to talk about, because I'm much more divided on it, like the G-Quacks itself, I actually really like the G-Quacks. But I'm much more divided on my opinion on the White Gundam. So I have a lot of things to say about it. So I don't know what these are. I know that they're used for the bits of the Red Gundam, but the White Gundam shouldn't have those. Those are Xeon bits. So I don't know what their point is on the White Gundam, and I think that might just be an oversight where they don't really care because they're there for the Red Gundam, which would seem to be... Both the directors and the mechanical designers seem to have a higher attention to detail than that. The G-Quacks RX-78 Gundam looks so cool. Like I said, I have very mixed feelings about it. I'm glad you like it, though. I think it's a little over-designed. Like I mentioned, I'm really not a fan of these yellow bars on the hands and arms. I don't like these details on the thighs, and they seem pretty useless. I think the color feels a little unbalanced. And then, so in the original RX-78 too, the White Gundam looks like the Oak Gundam 811. I've seen that meme, yeah. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, in the original Gundam, the thrusters of the core fighter just that are powerful enough to power an entire aircraft just sit in the Gundam's torso, and they just sit there useless. So in the 90s, Shoji Kawamori was right that that needs to not be the case. Let me see. Can I find proper image that shows how the core fighter docks? Okay, well, I found this image from the Master Grade GP01. And then let me see if I can find an image of the rear of the GP01. There we go. So if we look at the GP01 core fighter, the way right there, those two thrusters we see there are those two. They're the primary thrusters of the back of the mobile suit, and I think we need a Master Grade GP01. That tell me about it, especially the full vernier, because I personally like the full vernier more. I have the real grade though, and the real grade core fighter was done perfectly. Everybody complains about specifically the GP01 real grade. That's one of the ones people complain about a lot because the the docking mechanism, they say makes it really fragile. I have no idea what they're talking about. They're just wrong, in my experience. And also, if it's that horrible for you, and people like a lot of people are saying, oh, they just shouldn't have done the core fighter and just had it be a normal inner frame there. It's like if you think that, just glue it together. But anyway, my complaining about people complaining aside, I think this way does it perfectly. What I'm pretty sure, if you look, that looks, if I look, what is it? XXXX7. If you look at the primary Universal Century Core Fighter, it definitely has a lot of similarities to what we see there on the backpack. So I'm pretty sure that on the backpack is literally a core fighter. We can see a lot of the same design aspects to that. Back really looks like the thruster assembly. We see the vents there and there. That would be the wings. But what is interesting is that, so first of all, surprisingly, that looks less aerodynamic and with smaller wings than the original core fighter. Which, if you look at things like the narrative Gundam's core fighter, first the Double Zeta's core fighter, and then the S Gundam's core fighter, then the narrative Gundam's core fighter. Like, in general, it's like the farther you go in when the mobile suit was created in real life, generally it looks like the more aerodynamic that it looks while still being perfectly fine as a core fighter, with bigger wings usually. So it's interesting to see G-Quack seemingly reverse this decision. I think most about the backpack is the core fighter, but it's just a core fighter. But the parts could be attachment parts, but they're probably are going to get removed if never to get sold from Char. Possibly, maybe they're going to attach something else. Maybe propellant tanks for long distance travel or something. Still, it's like, to me, it's like, I think those shouldn't be there on the original design. Like, when I look at that, I definitely could be wrong, but when I look at that, I just see those are the attachment points for the Red Gundam's bits. And it, like, in general, even with like the color of the White Gundam, like, the way the parts are put together, it looks better in the Red Gundam's colors, and I think it was designed as the Red Gundam first, and then the bits removed, and it put in RX-782 colors to make it the White Gundam. And I think perhaps better results could have been achieved by doing it the opposite way, since in universe it was designed first as the White Gundam. But that's just my personal thoughts on it, and probably most people aren't going to really care about that. But my issue with the backpack core fighter is it feels kind of vulnerable. It's just like hanging out there, and then if it gets destroyed, then all of a sudden you don't have a core fighter anymore. Whereas with most core fighters, it has some protection from the mobile suit itself, since it's supposed to be like an emergency escape. Which is, it's a very minor nitpick, of course. And I really have no doubts that I will love G-Quacks. And honestly, even this design will probably grow on me a bit when I see it in animation. But I'm also not sure how I feel about the face. I have mixed feelings about the face. I definitely see why they made it like that, and I see why a lot of people like it. I'm not sure if I do. But I did make an image, if I can... Actually, I'm going to open it as layers. Where is it? Did I only ever save that as an XCF? God damn it. Oh yeah, instead of exporting it, I took a screenshot of the actual image. Let me... I posted in my, actually, I posted it right here. Okay, that image is of quality. I posted it on my Twitter. I can download the image from there. It wasn't that long ago, right? There it is. So I made an image which is... I changed around some things on the White Gundam. Ellie, hello, welcome to the stream. Actually, you know what? The low quality of that image is irritating me. I'll just delete layer. Open its layers. I got rid of XCF. Hang on, me. There we go. That's close enough. That's what the design looks like. Yes, this is the design of the RX-78-2 from G-Quax. Oh, I got a taste limited play. That's what it looks like. Yes. Okay. I didn't see your first message at first. Still looks good to me anyway. Like I said before earlier in the stream that when you weren't there. Oh, welcome to the stream, by the way, a normal spider. I do like this, but this one, I removed some of the details on the legs, which I'm actually proud of my work doing that, because you wouldn't even notice there. And then I removed some other details, and then changed part of this to blue. I think, to me, these little changes make it look a lot better. I also really don't like these bars in the arms at all. I definitely can't wait to get my hands on a Gunpla one. Becomes less busy efficiently, yeah. And then, yeah, like I said, I really... Oh, and change that to red. I can't wait to get my hands on a Gunpla of this, though. I might keep some things like the leg details, because I do want to keep it, I want to keep some of the character. It feels... Pause here, I just don't know how long my day will last. Ah, I see. Hopefully it'll last for the whole stream, and hopefully your power comes back soon. But, what was I saying? G-Quax Gunpla seems awesome. It's a great possibility. Oh, yeah. And the G-Quax itself, I actually like a lot more than the White Gundam. I was actually... Whoops. That's the first thing I was talking about. Was the G-Quax. It has begun. So there are definitely things about this design I'm not a big fan of. This collar, I'm not crazy about. I do really like this backpack, though, which might be a core fighter. But then, yeah, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of this, like, joint on the arm there. The torso seems a little bit long to me. Not a big fan of this V-fin. Or these shoulders, I like and don't like. But overall, yeah, I really like this design, especially the lower legs. First I was disgusted, but I see what they were going for. Honestly, I liked it from the first time I saw it. But every time... So, with what I was saying earlier, with not wanting to change too much when I get my hands on a White Gundam Gunpla, every time that I see somebody make a custom G-Quax, and it's like, they cut the proportions here, and then they cover up these... and then they add normal feet, especially the adding normal feet, and they add normal shoulders. Often, I've seen a few based on like Exia's shoulders. I don't like the jetpack, but that's a nitpick. That's definitely fair. Personally, I do, but I can definitely see why someone would not. I was slightly on the fence at first, but then it really grew on me. But like every time I see somebody give it feet, it just kills a bit of me, because that's so important to the character of the mobile suit. They're trying to make it have less character and be more of just a machine. But that itself gives it its own character and makes it feel unique. And I think it feels weird. I don't really like the feel of it when somebody builds a Gunpla and just like takes away that character so much. And of course, obviously, they're building the Gunpla. It's up to them, and I shouldn't have a say anyway. And it's also interesting to see how different people want to take the design. Even when, especially when I don't agree, honestly. Obviously, it's great when other people agree with me, but it's maybe more interesting when they don't, because I get to see a completely different viewpoint that's entirely separate from my own. I do really like its beam sabers. That's probably my favorite part about the design. The beam sabers are awesome. Nothing against the Heat Hawk, of course, but. And then let me clear some of these layers. Don't need that one. Don't need the Zaku anymore. What was this? Ah, I don't need the other Ikuto Yamashita designs. I'd like to know your opinion on the beam sabers. I was just talking about that. Yeah, I really like the beam sabers. I seen a variant that had funnels from the new gun that looked really good. Oh yeah, that could look really good with that. But yeah, I should probably get the beam sabers on the screen, huh? I accidentally put a W in there. Oops. All these images I'm seeing here only have the the Heat Hawk. Everybody seems to like the Heat Hawk a lot. Here's one. Yeah, there it is. There's the beam saber. It looks shorter than it's supposed to be because of the angle, but yeah. Yeah, I love the beam sabers. They're awesome. I can't find any images that aren't that like angle at a very cursory look. If I looked a bit harder, I probably could, but I'm not going to though. I also really like the beam rifle, and the beam rifle is very resemblant of some of his Evo work. Speaking of Ikuto Yamashita Evangelion mecha designs, I want the chat's opinion on something. I like to think that GQX focus on speed and maneuverability, whereas compared to the White Gundam with a vector thrust at the feet. Yeah, it definitely seems to be that. And I, in general, like high mobility mobile suits better. But a beam scimitar more like, yeah. So I want to know, there's one Evangelion mecha design that I want to know the chat's opinion of. Actually, the only mecha from Evangelion that I can think of, come to think of it. Oh, that's a very large image. The very great Jet Alone. Yes, Jet Alone. There we go. So, what do we think of Jet Alone? Chat. Because I've seen a lot of people hate the very idea of Jet Alone. There's no mecha that was versus the Eva. I like it. 10 out of 10. Yes, It's kind of hard for me to put into words why I think Jet Alone is so important, and why I think people who just say, oh, it's boring, it's filler. The rebuild version looks sick. What is the rebuild version? I thought it wasn't in the rebuild movies. Did I misremember? Jet Alone Kai. I mean, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But to me, it really loses its character compared to the TV version. Yeah, I definitely prefer the TV version. But a lot of people, like, really, really hate. Thing is, it feels like a mutated labor from Pat Labor. I need to watch Pat Labor still. This looks more like a 20D. It gets all extended damage, but it's still a prototype. I like so much. I wish it had more screen time. I don't know if I wish it had more screen time, because I think it is perfect at serving its purpose, because it provides useful exposition on the world of Evangelion, namely the politics, and it's also, I haven't thought about it well enough to really put it, or like enough to really put it in words properly, but it's how do I put this? Like, it feels like an abomination. And that's good. It should. I mean, the Evas feel like an abomination too, but the way it just keeps walking it, and we don't know why or how to stop it. It really, to me, I feel like it really drives home the points that humans are pretty much playing with fire and are not really well equipped scientifically to deal with what we ourselves have created in Evangelion. I was meaning this one. Ah, I see. Let me blow my nose once more. But yeah, after watching Evangelion, and then later finding out that this is like so heavily hated by the fandom. Like, what are you on about? That's one of the best episodes. I need to rewatch the original TV Evangelion. It's been a while. Especially because now I'm a lot smarter. I think recently I was watching Squid Game Season 2, and I was having way more fun, like, dissecting it and analyzing it than I did when I originally watched the first season. And I was thinking, I don't actually know if that's because it's more fun to analyze Season 2, because honestly, it's probably not. I think it's because I'm a lot smarter than I was back then. And I'm much better at media and literary analysis. I also need to rewatch Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0, because when I went to see that in theaters, little did I know, I wasn't actually just feeling like a little ill because I was super, super tired. I was also super, super tired, but I wasn't actually just feeling slightly ill because of being tired. I actually had COVID. So I accidentally fell asleep in the theater for part of it. Politically, it's a great episode. Like, Nerve does anything to get their instrumentality plans, including political sabotage. Yeah, exactly. Jet Alone hoot. Yes, Jet Alone. Something we don't often see in the Eva series. Yeah, exactly. Also, this means technically Eva is still a mecha anime, because otherwise technically it wouldn't be, since the Evas aren't mecha. I'm joking, of course, since it was still the genre would still be mecha anime, but it's still funny to say that Jet alone is the only reason Evangelion is a mecha anime. Yeah, the Jet alone episode is great. Let me delete these layers, though. Don't think we need the beam saber one either. What is this? That's the normal Saku. What is this? Oh yeah, we don't need the core fighter. Or the GPO one. Oh yeah, that's from... I remember why. That's there. Okay, there's... I would say there is technically mecha. I mean, I guess there's things like the tanks and the big stealth carriers. But, I mean, the Evas themselves... So, the Evas themselves technically are not mecha. But, thematically and writing-wise, they are mecha. Which is why I say that, it's funny to say Jet alone is the only reason Evangelion is mecha anime. But, of course, mechanized troops, that is. Well, yeah. But, I mean, if it's... You wouldn't call, like, a World War II anime focused on a tank crew a mecha anime, though. Like, that's not what mecha in when we're talking about anime means. What other anime is there to talk about? But yeah, Jet alone is great, and people, I think, criticize it way too quick. Wow, this stream is doing really well. Maybe I should just, like, do streams where I just, talk and yap for a long time more. Oh yeah, there's one thing I think I haven't shown on stream, and it's the whoops, that would move the background. The partner machine to Gundam Epigos. I don't think I've shown this on stream yet. Where is it? That's not the number 2, that's number 3. I need to scale it. It is a little shorter, but not that much shorter. Yeah, the Gundam Blastos is the sibling mobile suit. Actually, it might still not be that small. Bad labor does not make the robot feel real, and it's acknowledging their inconveniences. Ah, that makes sense. In order to get a robo as mecha since Get a Razor sentient. Well, I actually haven't watched Get a Robo. I really need to. I should very soon. This is one of my favorite ones you created. Yes, I'm very fond of both designs. They're very different, but I designed them specifically to work in tandem with one another. This is a Robot Feet / Kazanki's custom design. The idea for both of these was a build fighter like universe. His is definitely Get a Robo's rad. Yeah, I will watch it probably soon. Also, King of Braves. I want to watch King of Braves as well. I need to watch more Super Robot Mecha anime because I've watched more Real Robot Mecha anime. Oh, I just realized the bottom of this one's feet are off the screen. There we go. I mostly watch Real Robot anime. I keep not putting it on my Gunpla because I'm drowning in backlog. I actually also am drowning in backlog. I have like 60 backlog kits, which sounds like a lot more than it is when you compare it to my finished kits, which is over 160. But yeah, these were ideas. My favorite designs in Gundam are from Gundam X. Actually, Gundam X does have one of my favorite Gundam designs. What was it called? Actually, it has two of my favorite Gundam designs. And neither of them have Gunpla. Okay, so the first one is the Vertigo. But I got 18 more people and kids coming. 18, Jesus. Yeah, I love the Vertigo. And it doesn't have a kit. And then I don't remember the Vertigo. I remember the name of. The other one I always forget the name of. Vacheron and the Vertigo. The Vacheron is pretty cool too, but not one of my favorites from, though. It's like I do really like it, but it's just I don't like love it. Vertigo's a great choice. Thank you. I can't. Where is it? Okay. It's I can find a picture of it. Don't worry. I just need to go to the new UNE page on the Gundam Wiki. I'll know its name when I see it. There it is, the Corel. That is a small image. Oh, that's just the image size of the line art. Okay. Vertigo gets a Gundam upgrade too. I've seen that. I went over it in my my After War Gundam X Gundam tier list. I don't like it as much as the Vertigo. Not even nearly. Vertigo used to be my favorite Gundam design, but man, the Corel is right now that's my favorite After War Gundam X design, I think. It's the Corels. It's such a good one. I think it does the exposed waist pistons design, I think, better than Iron Blooded Orphans too. And the way that it's like entirely white, it like bone-like, it especially because it's a warm white, so it really does feel like it's made of bones. Why does the Gundam Blaster look like Issei Hyodo armor look? Because he likes the design of the balance breaker, so I made it with the design of the balance breaker in mind. But it used to look more like the balance breaker, but it's since taken on more of its own unique identity. And then I doubt he would care that much if I showed off the full armor form. The full armor form is, think less like the full armor Gundam, where it's like actually full armored, and more like the full armor Unicorn, where it's more about armaments than actual armor. Oops. That is the full armored form. Shame Crossbone has no anime. That's so true. A lot of people say, oh, it's too goofy. It would never have traction, but it's like, you can't seriously believe that. I mean, look at the following the manga has now already. Should be called full armed, yeah, but I decided to still go for, with this I decided to still go for the full armored, like the Unicorn's full armor. I like how new types handle Gundam X. How the overall progress we made today after the Magic Colony drop, which both sides suffered. Yes. It's a full weapon. I want my new type monkeys. I don't have pictures of it, and I can't take a picture because it's not physically in this house because I moved it to where I'm moving already. But I have a gunpla I'm working on of the ideal variant of the Zaku. Well, the Gurmir coming up for the full uniform. Yes. Unfortunately, since some parts are actually swapped out, it can't just like purge the armor and turn back to the normal form. But MS06 MS. I read recently, I liked it a lot. Yes, I read Crossbone not recently because it was a long time ago. I mean, I don't know why I bothered to say because it was a long time ago. That was kind of a pointless thing to say. Whoops. Hey, that's not what I... Did I not copy the image? The ideal perfect mobile suit. You can't top this. This is what peak performance looks like. And surprisingly, I've never actually seen somebody just like actually make this in Gunpla form. Well, actually making it like this, because usually they only use F-type Zaku parts. But if you look, the waist is actually FZ parts, but then the arms are F parts. The waist and the back skirt armor actually. The Barbas, yes, it's awesome. Need to finish reading Thunderbolt and War Purchase. I still haven't read War Purchase, or I haven't read Thunderbolt either. I'm waiting for the anime to come out. I'll probably read Thunderbolt soon if it doesn't. I mean, I have less interest in it than primary UC. I do think being non-canon would have a line move though. If it was given some love like with the animation. Oh, wait, if it was given some love like with the animation for F91, Crossbone might have been interesting. I think they can honestly even. I would kind of prefer if they adopted a more typical UC animation style, but even if they kept the art style of the manga, I still think it'd be fine. The only thing is, when they do make a Crossbone anime, if they eventually do, they're gonna use the Katoki Crossbone design, and I'm gonna bitch about it. I'm gonna complain and whine. Let me get the comparison on screen. Because I just really, I can't explain how much I prefer the manga one. Vertigo is so cool. The model line of the torso is actually inspiring my V2 Gundam Empress custom. Oh, nice. So the Jupiter Empire reference in Hathaway too. Oh, that'd be cool. I haven't read the novel, so I don't know if it will be. Alright, I keep forgetting that what you guys can see on the screen is less than what I can of the, like, canvas. So, there's that. There's, you know, flirting versus harassment. Manga X1 is way better than the Verka. That's so true. It's like... almost everything is worse. The only part that I like better is actually not on this image. There's like sometimes there's like a head, like antenna. Can't find it. Like the stock here build, yes. The small feather piece, yeah. At least the full cloth with animated. That's true. That's very true, actually. Yeah, don't worry. I speak typo. Okay, so it's just not visible from that angle. If I look at if you take the back image, don't forget the bird too. I actually did forget the bird. What did I do? Oh, I accidentally turned on the background layer. If you look right there, that right there is what I was talking about. That little thing there. Right fucker in Gundam would kill it. Yeah, indeed. We would see a Gundam paid like Skull Eater. I did see on Twitter. I don't think I'd be able to find it, but I saw a Shakushiki painted in Skull 1 Macross colors. Inochi K channel. Hello, welcome to the stream. What was it? So, but yeah, in general, I really prefer the normal design. The feet are much more interesting. It's like he's mentioned, it's stockier. These look much more like bone-like, and in general, the design looks way better of these than the Verka, in my opinion. Disco Paint Zeta C1. I might actually do that if I can get my hands on a Zeta Plus. I think Zeta Plus would be the ideal one for that. It's even got the swing wings up like the Valkyrie. Another thing, one thing, it's a tiny nitpick, honestly, but it just makes the original so much better, is the way that these parts here are angled, and then here they're flat. The angle is so much better than the flat. But yeah, also the bigger shoulders. Dex 2 Kai looks a bit better. That's true. Of course, luckily, Katoki doesn't seem to have touched my favorite. My favorite Crossbone Gundam is not the X1, but the X0. I love the X0. And then my second favorite would have to be the X13. And the X13 is a lot like the X1. I think performance-wise, it's basically exactly the same. I think. But mostly it's the slight change in color. The black here is pretty nice, but the red V-fin is really nice. But yeah, the X0 is definitely my favorite. I love the silver color scheme. I can't wait to do a gunpla build of it. Another example of one that I think Katoki absolutely made so much worse. I'll start with the design everybody, the version of the design everybody knows. Or no, maybe I should start with the original. So there's 4 versions of the design. And I think the original might be my favorite. Probably is. So, first, we've got the original it's the Sea Gundam from the Hathaway's Flash novel. Then the next design to exist, I think, was this one, which also might be my favorite. No, probably not. This is probably my 3rd favorite. From the G-Generation series. Original seems more organic. Yes. I like the organic feel a lot. It actually has some of the like bug-like aesthetic of some Zanskar Empire mobile suits. Which is kind of interesting, just that it happens to be that similar like that. Since Gaiagear came out not too long after. Oh yeah, I like the X13 half cloth. The pirate head looks cool, and the Vulcan bullet acting as dreadlocks. That is very true, actually. The Vulcan bullets acting as dreadlocks is actually really cool. And then we have the worst version, in my opinion, at least. I really can't say I'm a big fan of the Katoki one at all. It's like, I'm gonna need to make these even smaller so they actually fit. So, like, there are definitely things to like about the Katoki one. But to me, the Katoki one largely is very boring. And that's how I feel about a lot of Katoki's redesigned mobile suits. But I think it feels more prevalent in the Sea Gundam because it's so unique. Whoa, that's a bigger line art. Okay. I actually might like the movie version best. The movie version overall feels most like the novel version out of every other design. These two, the G Generation and the Kotoki, feel somewhat similar. And then the movie and the novel feel very similar. Especially they have a very similar head, which I like a lot, and it keeps the big hands, whereas these two just get rid of the big hands. It does feel a little. It takes some cues from the Kotoki one, and it's also, I think, a little bit simpler, which is probably a good thing. But I think the movie version is a good version as well. The movie converts the best aspects of all of them. Yeah, I do think that's the case. I might still like the original better, but the movie version definitely does a good job of mediating a bit. It also, the face feels very boring of these two with the typical vents, whereas this one has this very small face, which helps to give it that bug-like aesthetic like the original. And then I don't think the Penelope changed too much. I don't know if it has as many movie has a cute face, yes, and that face is definitely shared by the original. I think the Penelope doesn't have as many versions, which is good, because they're big. I love the heft of the movie version, that too. So, I think I also like the novel version of the Penelope a bit more, but yeah, the Penelope is definitely more consistent. I also don't think it had the G Generation version. Where's the Kotoki one? I swear there was one more. Oh, hey, somebody else has already made my, the image for me. I think the fixed configuration is slightly different. Yeah, actually, I think you're right. Oh, there's a Moon Gundam design. The Moon Gundam, I don't really, right now, care about. So now that the movie has come out, since I don't really have space for all of them, that's very large again. I like the Penelope more than the XT Gundam along the Odysseus Gundam. It's so cool. I think I like the C Gundam more, but yeah, you just get replaced there. So, with these, still the novel design is best. But I might like, I think again I like the movie. No, probably this time I like the G Generation design second best, and then I think the Moon Gundam is just in the size of family shape. Ah, yeah. The Moon Gundam, again, it is definitely more consistent, but this one still feels boring. Especially the feet and the legs. It's like, no. Just no. God. The thing is, no, what's interesting to me about Kotoki is that everything he touches becomes worse, but his original mechanical designs are great. Well, I won't say everything, because the Wing Gundams were good, but I really hate most of his redesigns. Not all of them. Like his redesign of the Zeta, which I don't understand why the Verka wasn't Kotoki's redesign of the Zeta. Where is... Let me see if I can find Kotoki's Zeta. Oh, you know what? Think about it. Xenogears has similar designs to Gundam X. Didn't Xenogears have Jun Ishigaki working on it like Gundam X did? Okay, so first I'll show the Zeta Gundam Verka. There we go. Zeta has a huge variety. Because even the perk works for senior guys. Oh, nice. So, here's the Zeta Verka. I have nothing against it. I think this is a great rendition of the Zeta's design. But I do kind of wonder why it's not Kotoki's design if it's the Verka. Especially because Kotoki's take on the Zeta is super interesting. The way it tends to go for more rounded shapes, and you can really see how that influenced his Zeta Plus. So, I just like, why did Kotoki not make it? Why isn't the Verka Kotoki's redesign? Like, not a complaint. I don't understand. Because it's his redesign of the Zeta here is very interesting. And I think that does look like the a decent amount like the Master Grade 1.0. The Master Grade 1.0 looks more like a Verka than the Verka. Several Verka kits aren't exclusively Kotoki designs. The Phase 2. Ah, I see. Yeah, because like this one is, it's just funny to me that like, if you want the Kotoki design of the Zeta, you go for the old 1.0 instead of the Verka, because you'd assume you go for the Verka. I do want both of these eventually, by the way. Let me get these off the screen now. Okay, this is getting to be a bit much to look at. I think I'm done talking about the G-Clax, so I can get rid of those layers. What was I talking about here? I don't need the Coral. That. Or the various Sea Gundams. Or the Crossbone. I don't need the Crossbone Gundam anymore either. Okay, that's a lot better, easier to manage. I guess top building, but he has several designers. But a few had several designers. I see. That makes sense. If the one wasn't a brick, is it? Well, if it has horrible articulation, I will just fix it. Needs more Nightingale. Okay. I do actually really need more Macross model kits, because talking about transformable mecha has reminded me of it. I also, that same person who made the Chakushiki in the Macross Skull One colors also made a I have all the Master Grade Zetas. I have a problem. I don't actually have that many Master Grades. What Master Grades do I have? I have the... Oh, actually, speaking of which... Wait, no, I don't need it. No, I need to stay on task. I changed topics like a bird in flight, as Robot Feet would say. Macross is great. Yes, I actually overall like Macross more than Gundam. I just talk about Gundam more because it's more popular, so, and because it has more model kits. But what was I saying? So the Master Grades I have are the RX-78-2 1.5, which, by the way, that's a great first Master Grade, I think. The RX-78-2 2.0, which is, I think, my favorite model kit of the RX-78-2 in terms of proportions and details. I really like the way he does that. I have the Master Grade Epion, which I was kind of upset to learn was not the TV version, but now because I have the real grade, I have both the TV and the Endless Waltz, which is nice. I have 2 Master Grade Exias and the Master Grade Exia Repair, not Exia Repair, Exia Avalanche. Master Grade is my main line. For 1.0, got him to the narrative recall. Almost every major release minus the Delta and Resell. Oh, wow. Yeah, I mostly build in high grade. Oh, right, I was talking about which master kits I have. I have a Stray Red Frame, or Red Frame Kai, rather. I like the Endless Waltz Epion. I like the TV Epion a lot more, but I do like the Endless Waltz one still. I have the Sengoku Astray. What other master grades do I have? That might be all of them. I need to get a Straya. I have the F-type in high grade form. I need another high grade F-type to make as the F2. It's nice that literally every single model kit ever made of the Astrea type F can go into the can be built as the F2 out of the box. I mean, usually it's probably partly to that because they already have almost all the Exia parts that it will be replaced with anyway, so they might as well give you the few parts you still need. But then one thing that I'm gonna keep complaining about this. So the real grade Astray Gold Frame Amatsumina. I have this thing. It's great. I need to make a review on it. I actually got it specifically to make a review on it. Well, not specifically. I got it and then decided immediately, oh, I want to make a review on this, rather. It's great with my only power is back. Nice. Welcome back, Ellie. My only main complaint about this entire model kit, other than it's kind of a pain in the neck to build because of all of the... you gotta wear gloves, and I hate wearing gloves. It's because of all the shiny coated black pieces. But that makes it look amazing, so that's not even actually a complaint. But the only complaint I have is that this back black piece with the red piece always falls off. It falls off so easily. So overall, it's great. Oh man, did they make a liner for it too? They did. Wow. But if we look at the liner of the Stray Gold Frame Amatsumina, and just hear me out on this little tangent a bit. So, there's that. And then if we look at the liner of the normal gold frame Amatsu. It's at a different angle because of course it is. Okay, so in terms of differences, right? The differences are, we don't have those two swords. Oh wait, this is the early version, hang on. Hang on, I can't find it, the final version. They look almost the same, yeah, but the one I found didn't have the... Oh, here it is, here's the complete form. I don't know why it wasn't coming up. That's a smaller liner. I probably have a liner somewhere that actually downloaded, but I don't feel like finding it. Okay, there we go. That's better. That's from the same angle too. So it doesn't have the heels. It has different feet. So it's in the real grade, that's a completely new mold of the heels, right? It doesn't have this piece right here, this new armor piece covering there. It doesn't have the swords, and it doesn't have this new weapon or the spear. I don't remember their names. So those are the only differences. Now, if I go to dalong.net, and let me go RG, English menu. By the way, dalong.net is an amazing site. One of my favorite. And then I go to gold frame Amatsumina. Let me get you a picture of those runners. So, if we look at what it has from the original base red frame, which has these exact legs minus this part here, this has every single part needed to make this version, except for these tiny black pieces at the bottom. Because on the red frame, those are its own runner. Gotta go now outside and she gets ready. Take care. Thanks for streaming. Yep, thanks for stopping by. So, if they had only included that tiny little runner, then they could have marketed this as being either the gold frame or either the gold frame Amatsu or the gold frame Amatsu Mina. And it's like, now if you want to make the normal gold frame Amatsu, then you have to get an entire red frame just for the feet. Just for the bottoms of the feet, because it comes with the gold parts at the tops and of the front and back. It's like, it feels like such a waste. It's like, and that's the main complaint on the kit anyway. I would want to keep it in the gold frame Amatsu Mina anyway. But it's like, I want to have the option of making it the normal gold frame Amatsu, you know? And then, oh yeah, earlier somebody mentioned the RX-78-2 Verka. Is there a part similar to that as an alternative? You could probably take ones from a high grade, maybe. They have kind of different proportions, but you could probably make it fit. Other than that, you would have to, somebody skilled, and I might be skilled enough for this even if I wanted to, could probably make new parts out of sheet plastic and then just paint them. But yeah, if the high grade one has kind of different proportions, but you could probably make it work. And the high grade's a lot cheaper. It's like a third of the price. And it's the same scale. But it's still, it just feels like come on, Bandai. You could have made that a selling point. And it would have cost you almost nothing. But then somebody mentioned RX 70. That's 0. 78 to let's do, since we were doing comparison of versions of mecha. You know what I could do? I could do a tier list of RX-78-2 parts. Okay, let me download the things I need. I'll make a tier list of different RX-78-2s, but just RX-78-2s. Come on. You're really struggling so much to download an image? Does that take that much difficulty? Okay, I'll leave it in a few, because I have to go to Fuzuoshi, it can say longer. Ah, I see. Well, I'm glad you could at least stop by for a bit. Okay. I'm downloading several versions of the RX-78-2s/02. I guess I should include the Perfect Grade Unleashed. That's enough to be its own thing. Might be lurking around inside of both platforms. See ya. Okay. Lurking is always appreciated. Have a good time at school then. Oh, hydrate. Okay. I've been forgetting to do that again. Thank you for the hydrate. Okay. let's see. There's the verka, which is what was talked about in the first place, the reason I mentioned this. Is there a line under the verka? That doesn't matter. Okay, now, is there any other versions? I think I need the beyond global. Because that has pretty different proportions, too. And then, where's the G40? Okay, chat, is there any other ARC-782s I'm missing? I guess I'd probably also better pick Cassville. Well, I mean, that's the same basic design as the normal anime one. It's just a color difference. Because I'm mostly looking at like, in terms of details and proportions and such, which version I like better than which other version. So I've got there's the Beyond the Barrel, technically. Well, that's not really the same thing. RX-78567. Well, I'm more looking for just like different versions of the RX-782 itself, because those are like in-universe different machines. I've got the Origin, both the manga Origin and the anime Origin, and the G40, the Beyond Global, the Perfect Grand Unleashed, the Verka. Oh, actually, the Master Grade 1.5 was sort of its own. It wasn't quite the Verka or the Origin or the normal. Trying to recall. Yeah, they kind of all like blend together in your head, you know? Okay, let's see. And I should also probably go for the White Gundam. That counts. Oh, the real life statue one. Yes, good call. And then that'll probably be enough, I guess. I can't really recall the specific names of any. I might as well go for grab the 2.0 one, huh? Or also the Zodiac ones. Yeah, well, yeah, those aren't. I'm not gonna get into those though. Where's a good image of the moving one that actually shows the proportions and details and such? There are plenty for the one that didn't, but that one's literally just the anime one. Okay, this image will work. Or this one. No, wait, this one is better. It's like nobody just like bothered to take a good picture that showed the details. There probably is a line art somewhere, but I just don't want to spend the amount of time looking for it. The Forever Gundam. Well, that one's also like its own variant. Perfect Gundam. Yeah, the Perfect Gundam 2 feels like its own like distinct variant. Instead of like it's like a different interpretation of the design is more what I'm looking for. Is there any other designers who have redesigned it notably? Because there's obviously Kotoki and Okawara. I feel like people are sometimes a little scared to touch the RX-78 too. Compared to like Exia has not, well, maybe not Exia is not a good option. Like Turn A has been redesigned by everybody on the face of the planet. All right, there's the RG 2.0. Normal RG is literally just the anime design. The 2.0 feels more distinct. It feels like kind of Kotoki-ish. Let me look. I know there are quite a few. That's an AVIF file. AVIF files are evil. I also don't want it to take too much longer. I'm losing viewers as I just look for RX-78-2s. Wasn't the RG 1.0 based on the RG 1.0 based on the non-moving one? It was, yes. Or was it the other way around? No, it was. Yeah, the real grade was based on the not moving one. Okay, I'll probably not look for much longer. Is that? No, wait. I don't know. This looks like a Kotoki version of design, but it's not the same as the Verka. Well, no, that just looks like the 1.5. It's similar enough I want to include it, because I've included 1.5. Oh, there's the Gundam Evolve version. There we go. Nice. Okay. What do you think, chat? Is that good enough? Or should... I forgot a major variant of the Zephyr Gundam. Yes, that is true. Let me look at it again and see if I want to include it. Probably not. Well, maybe. Because that still feels like a variant rather than a redesign. Okay. The only last one to look at is see how I feel about the GFF. Masafumi Matsuda. What's the design for that one? Well, you know what? We can include it. Because I think the Zephyr Gundam without armor is basically just a Masafumi Matsuda RX-78 too. Gundam fixed configuration. Was it? No, it's Gundam fixed figuration. Let's see if that one... Yeah, that one's just a Kotoki. Okay, I think we've got enough. Okay, presentation mode. Let me upload all my files. TF one is Kotoki. Well, yeah, but sometimes they won't look like exactly like the normal, like it wouldn't necessarily look just like the Verka. Okay, now I can... Where do I have a tier list one already? Okay, let me... That is way too small. Come on. I know a couple of Gundam configuration units. For me, I don't really care about the about metal builds at all. Okay, let's start with the original. To me, I still feel like this is the gonna get flack for this, but I do not like the vanilla RX-78. Well, that's fair, but I was about to say the exact opposite. In a lot of ways, I still feel like this is the definitive RX-78 too. Which is probably why I like the Master Grade 2.0 best. Master Grade 2.0 is my favorite RX-78-2 model kit in terms of proportions and such. I think it's the 2.0 is the ideal RX-78-2, and that's really similar to this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this all the way in S already. And then I'll do this one. This is next because this one people are gonna want to know a lot about. So the movie RX-7802. So I'm not a big fan of this particular bit of angle right there. This camera in the collar feels very extraneous to me. I am not. It's good. It's the first one and iconic, yeah. But again, it's not like you have to personally like it. I don't like the way this like goes down so far and then curves. I think it's better how it just like stops right here and then goes down in the original. And then one of the big things I don't like about the RX-78 too is this the vents. So let me open up this one again. There's two vent styles people will go for the RX-72. There's with the edges of the vents outside of the main blue part or inside the main blue part. And I vastly prefer inside of it. And for me, that's a lot of what makes or breaks our RX-78 design. I'm also not a fan of here or the flatness of the feet. Like the way that they are and the fact that they're overall so flat, I'm not a huge fan of. Overall, it's, like you said, it's alright. It gets a B tier, I guess. No, C tier. Because I like B tier. Okay, the Zephyr Gundam without armor. This is very small. So... Okay, where do I start with this one? This is fairly different. Inside is objectively correct. Yeah, and this one does inside, so props to that. So this is also assuming the Zephyr Gundam without armor is supposed to be pretty much just an RX-78 redesign. Which it might not be. The feet is an interesting way to do the redesign. I actually really like this piece of armor here. And the curves of the legs in general are interesting. It's odd compared to its brethren. It is a bit odd compared to its brethren, yeah. I don't dislike it, though. I'm not a big fan of this camera here. I think it's kind of extraneous after you already have this one. Other than that, the head is mostly just RX-78 head. Blocky, yeah. It is fairly blocky, but I do agree with A tier. Maybe I might move it up to S tier later, but for now, A tier. Okay, the G40. I have tried to like this design. Really, I have. But I just can't make myself like it. I'm sorry. Let me actually... Does that still work with the... Okay, yeah, it does. It works better, actually. So, I don't see a point for the beam sabers moving like that, other than as a gunplay gimmick. I really, really don't like the non-movable skirt armor. I think that with the way that the legs like swing out, the hips swing out to counteract that, it feels like needless mechanical complexity. The gun feels too small to me. It is an acquired taste that I have not candied. Yeah, exactly. Right here, it feels odd the way it, like, doesn't flow. It's like a stopping of flow. It's like, oh, that flows, and they're like, ugh. It stops. The diaper design, yeah. Right here is interesting. It almost looks like a knight-like design, but I don't think it works well for the RX-78 I really don't like the feet either. This part, it's like, it almost feels like a knockoff Gundam toy, and it looks very toy-like. I mean, the original looks fairly toy-like. I do kind of like the way that the camera, like, goes on the top of this crest. Kind of like some Advance of Zeta things. That's pretty cool. But overall, I just like almost everything about this. The shield is nice, but I don't like it as much for the RX-72 as the normal one. So this is going to go right into D. Maybe C, because, no, D. Yeah, D. And then the Verka. Everybody tends to really like the Verka. I think actually this is a picture of the Gundam fixed configuration, funnily enough. So it does the outside events more than the other one. AOZ hurts my wallet. Tell me about it. Well, it probably hurts your wallet more because you like building a master grade. So the arms are perfect, actually, I think. Well, not perfect. I think the arms they're fine. I like the way that this is like indented, but I don't like it for the RX-78. Same with these vents here and here. And then also same with the shoulders. I like it, but not for the RX-78 too. I don't like it's like in general, I like this design, but it's part of it is that it doesn't feel like the RX-78. It feels like a gym. Because it feels like the Gym Type C, because Kotoki designed it and the Gym Type C. Or maybe the Gym Custom, actually. It feels like one of those two. Actually, it feels more like the Custom. And I'm not a big fan of that. So, I'm, in general, not a huge fan of the Kotoki one. And then, in general, it feels like it loses some of its character as the RX-78, which, in general, the Kotoki designs of things tend to do that to me. Especially the Verkas. They usually lose a lot of their character that makes them unique. So, it's not horrible, though, so I'll put it in C. Okay. The Real Grade 2.0. Now, let's get to the part where everybody's going to hate me for this. I really don't like this. So, first of all, we've got the outside vents. Not a fan. I don't like the way that it's like this bit of an angle change here and here. The cockpit block seems way too large to me, and then also the way you can see it, like it's supposed to like swing. It looks like it's supposed to swing up. I don't actually have the model kit, so I can't say if it does or not. The arms look pretty perfect. In general, it looks a bit too like big and stocky. I'm not a big fan of how the feet are shaped. It's bland. That too. It does look bland. It's I think there's a bit too much like over designing, but that's just real good for you, I guess. The rifle and shield look perfect, I guess. The head looks too round, I think. This looks too blocky. In general, the whole thing looks too blocky and wide and stocky, and I'm really not a fan, and I'm going to put it in C, and I'm almost consider putting it in D. Okay, what is this one even? Oh, this is the 1.5. Okay, so this was designed by Kotoki. You can see some of his similar tendencies towards gentle curves, like with his design for the Zeta at the time. And I think that works really, really well at the head. This head mold is, like, perfect to me. The chest is good other than these vents. I hate it when vents do that. Oh, this looks basically almost the same as the 1.0. I forgot the 1.5 just used this enhanced engineering from the gym, basically, for the most part. I think the shield looks perfectly fine. The rifle could be a bit bigger, but it's fine how it is as well. I think the shins could be longer. And then the gentle curves on the legs or on the feet make it feel a bit like slippers, but I don't hate it. The gentle curves I think are a downside for the body, but a very big upside for the head. And I think it's gonna get a spot in A. No, B. but above Origin for sure. Okay, the Beyond Global. I get why a lot of people like this model kit. I'm not a big fan. So the bottom of the legs look very small to me. With the, it looks like the thighs ate their mass. I do like how this looks very aggressive. It's an interesting direction to take it. And definitely this can give it a lot of, like, interesting articulation. The arms almost remind me of the Age 1 in a way, the forearms. And while that's good, I don't think it works too well for the RX-78 I would like this a lot better in general if my issues the legs were solid. And also the feet look small and cute, and I don't think the speeder's supposed to look small and cute. The rifle looks perfect though. And the head looks pretty good too. It goes with the aggressive nature of the torso very well. So, but overall, I'm not a huge fan. It can get bottom of A for now. No, B. Top of B. Okay, time for the next thing people are not going to like me saying. I don't like this one either. I actually really hate this design. I get why people like it. But let's start going over a few of the reasons why I don't. Which, the vents, the way that they're, like, angled, I don't like that. And then the head, I can't exactly put my finger on why I don't like the head. I don't like the splitting on the shoulders. Other than that, the shoulders are fine, I guess. It is a nice detail that the lights are green on this side and red on this side, like lights on actual aircraft. Overall, it feels very, like, over-designed. And then it has some of the same stockiness issues I have with the Railgrade 2.0. I feel like the Railgrade 2.0 was very much based on this. The thing I do like about it, though, is the shield. I really like the shield. But yeah, a lot of it feels stocky and also very over-designed. There's just too much detail. There's too much going on. It's very busy, and I'm not a big fan. And I think I'm going to put it below the 2.0, actually. Oh, one thing I will say, I think a Mach 2 using this same proportions and inner frame could work. Okay, the Origin, the RX-78 Origin novel version, which I'm actually not sure if this was who this was designed by. It looks like Okawara. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it probably was. The parts on the arms here are interesting, and I wonder if that kind of inspired the part on, or the shape of the arms of the Age 1. But it doesn't seem to be too similar. Mach 2 would rock. Yeah, it's like the proportions of this. They're stocky for the RX-78 too, but I don't think they're too stocky for the Mach 2. I do think it would be better if they took out some of the surface clutter, but I mean, if I get it, I'll probably just do that myself if they make one, of course. I'm not gonna get a 2.0 because even though I wouldn't even like it that much even if I did that, and it's expensive, so I'm not gonna get it. But the angled chest vents remind you at 90s, yes, and that is also something else that Okawara designed in that era. And I think it still sort of works with RX-78 too. I don't dislike it. I'm neutral on it. The cannon here is very interesting. That's something we did not see on any other version. That does mean it only has one beam saber, and I am not sure if I think that the cannon makes sense with its relation to the gun cannon and the gun tank. But I'm not really against it, at least. Wow. I'm not really against it, at least. And then the knees shape here, it's much flatter than the RX-72s typically are. And then we've got vents here that are expressly vents, whereas they're not exactly for sure vents on the original. I felt like they could be vents or they could be C-shaped there, but for here they're definitely vents, so it's nice to have that clarification. The armor splitting here on the shins is nice. I like that a lot. As is it here. I'm not a big fan of this detail here. It seems extraneous. And then the rifle is an interesting direction to take it. It's pretty different. I don't hate it. It does have... I feel like maybe this scope is a bit extraneous, but I see why they would want to keep that to harken back to that. I feel like the cheeks here are... I'm not a big fan, but I don't hate them, so... overall, I'm going to put this... probably in the bottom of A. Okay, so the real-life moving one. So to preface, I'm just talking about it from a design perspective. I'm not saying they should have done it like this, because I recognize that. Well, I'm not really saying they should have done it like this with any of these, because this is people expressing themselves, and who am I to say that they're wrong? But I also, with this, I understand that there are certain limitations to something that actually has to walk around as a giant 18-meter tall robot in real life. So we're ignoring that for the sake of just talking about design. But that doesn't apply to all of it. So it's got some of the same proportion issues, I think, as the Beyond Global, where I feel like these could be the shins right here could be a lot longer. And maybe the thighs. Maybe the thighs shorter as well. And that might be have to do with the fact that it has to walk around, but like I said, we're not really focusing on that right now. But let me unmute myself, or let me mute myself for a second to blow my nose. Okay, I'm not a fan of the shape here. It seems like it's kind of pointless. I like what they tried to do here on the chest with the changing of like the two-toned blues, but I think the darker blue definitely should have been lighter, and probably the lighter blue should have been a bit darker and make them a bit more similar to one another. Maybe that was just so it would be able to be easily visible in photos, but I think like the contrast here versus here is done better. And then the hang on, my chat's not updating anymore. There we go. Wait, maybe? Okay, yeah. If somebody could say something in the chat so that I know that it actually works, that would be great. Anyway, I'm not a big fan of the way the vents are like that, and then like that, and then like that. They're that. I'll try it. They're like that, instead of just like a straight line. And again, I get why they did it. Hey, okay, thank you. Yes, it's working now. Thank you. And then, okay, so some of these black pieces here and up here feel extraneous. And then this circle bit here, and that I know is because it had to be like that so it can actually move properly. But I just don't like how it looks, which is what we're talking about. I think the head is actually like almost perfect. The V-fin could be maybe a bit bigger, but overall the head is pretty much perfect. Although the head V-fin being small will also probably for that. So we're gonna put this in probably A. And then the white Gundam. So I talked about it a bit before, but I think a lot of this is over-designed. These bars don't make any sense to me whatsoever. I think this part being blue would look a lot better. And this part being yellow here for part of the joints, I really don't like that. It feels a bit lanky for my tastes personally. And then it's also got, again, some of that issue where the waist is very wide. And then I feel like it could maybe be better if it had some skirt armor, but eh. But overall, it's doing what it's trying to. I'll put it upper side of C. No, right there. And then finally, the I just said it. Evolve, that's it. The Gundam Evolve redesign. Okay, so I'm not actually sure how to feel about this. I feel like the head could maybe be more similar to the original, but then again, it's doing something new and unique, which is interesting. I sort of like this with the... It almost reminds me of the Strike Gundam there, and I think that's because both this version and the Strike Gundam, I think, were built from the inner frame up, which I think is a pretty cool way to do it. I think that also is why this is done, but it's also, I think the way this is a nice way to be different from the original while also kind of harkening back to the original here and the way this joint is looking. I like these things here. I'm not sure, these like vents. The way that they did the vents was pretty interesting. My criticism is, would people actually be able to get in and out of that cockpit? The cockpit actually looks pretty small. I like this thruster here as well. I tend to prefer the RX-78 with 2 thrusters than I think I still would here, but it's fine. And then again here they preserve some of that original design aspects while also keeping it different. If they made this into a Gunpla, this right here would make for some killer ab crunch. That would be awesome. And I think I am actually going to put this in S. I haven't thought about it that much, but I think I do actually like that. Feel free to crucify me or whatever for my, I'm sure to many of you, horrible takes. But this is how I like my RX-78-2s. Okay, and honestly, I think I'm mostly done talking about mecha. I actually expected to talk about more mecha that aren't Gundam. Namely, I thought I was going to talk at least a little bit about Macross, which is why I have a Valkyrie in the thumbnail. But I'm getting pretty hungry. I think I should probably eat. Oh, there is a different Gundam fixed configuration design that's... Hang on, I should probably include this one too. This is the one I was thinking of that I thought I might have remembered. Okay. LFC design. It's everyone's own likes it. It's like fun to hear. Yes, indeed. Okay, here we go. This is the one I was thinking of because this is different than the normal Verka a little bit. It's in some ways it's more similar to the Kukuru's Dolan's Island one. So there's a bit to unpack here. So it holds the shield upside down, like most, which I get that's technically should be correct because then I can actually look through the eye holes. But I think it looks worse, so I don't care. I think this third thruster I'm not a big fan of. These two make a lot of sense. I don't think that I like them in terms of design, but they do make sense, so I'll give them a pass because that way they could really help the arcs needed to move more. Vents, again, not a huge fan of these things here and here with this design. The head is perfect, though. Kotoki knows how the RX-78's head should look perfectly. He's got that down. It's got a little bit here of the novel origin design. I don't like these thrusters here, though. I get why they would be there. But I'm not a big fan. And then it's got those Kotoki slippers that I don't like that much. Overall, I do like this more than most of Kotoki's other designs, though. And I'll give it top of B. Okay, yeah, this looks good. But yeah, I think I'll end off the whole stream. Thank you for stopping by, though. Definitely I didn't expect this much turnout. This is nice. But yeah, if you're not on in my Discord server already, that's the best place to get future information about streams and also just chat with me and my community. It's great there. We do talk about mecha a lot because, you know, it shouldn't be surprised the VTuber with a huge love of mecha anime. A large portion of her audiences would be mecha anime fans. Not everybody in my server, but a lot of them for sure. There's a link to that in the link places and my of Twitch and my description on YouTube. Need to join? Yes, definitely join. If either of those don't have a direct link to the Discord, then in my link tree there will be a link to the Discord. If it doesn't work, you could email me about it, or the email I use is a business email. I might actually change it because and start using a different one because right now it was my previous identity before I did a slight rebrand. I'll put it in the. There. That's it. That's my sort of like business email as a VTuber. So if it doesn't work, then you can put me in you can email me there or message me on Twitter or something. Or just catch me in another stream and then let me know, hey, that doesn't work. The link doesn't work. If you would like to support me monetarily, I have a Patreon to get early access, which also gets you early access content and Patreon exclusive content. If you want to just directly give me money one time, I have a Ko-Fi. That'd be great. I'd appreciate that a ton. Or you could subscribe to me on Twitch, and also any following on Twitch or subscribing on YouTube it helps me a lot as well. Even just watching helps me a lot as well, so you definitely don't need to feel pressured to support me monetarily, but if you want to, it definitely helps me keep doing this, and you'd be great for doing so. Speaking of which, actually, we just recently patched 200 subscribers on YouTube, so that's great. I will soon be making my review of the high-grade gym. I'm mostly waiting to I keep not clearing the things off of that table that I do it on because I'm packing, and it's hard to do that. But yeah, anyway, thank you all for watching. I appreciate you all for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.